It's the Texas weather discussion video for Friday the 9th of November. I'm Donovan Neal. This morning may be another cold, raw morning with a brisk northerly wind, but the sun comes out later today. We might see our first freeze of the season tomorrow morning, and then as we head into early parts of next week, we might see our first wintry precipitation in the for the first time this season. If we don't, then we might see some icy roadways. So we'll talk more about that. Let's go on to the upper air look across the nation. You can see that trough. You can see that trough in the central high plains, digging down into the south, pushing down that colder air mass around the nation. As I said earlier, that coldest air mass is now reaching the Texas Panhandle at this point, and you can see the 30 and the 35 mark line, and like I said before, tomorrow we have the potential to see that freezing line reach the North Texas area. And speaking of freezing line, we have freeze watches and warnings in effect for much of the state of Oklahoma, Arkansas, and parts of the Deep South. But down here in North Texas, freeze watches are now in effect for most of the DFW metro area and points to the north, where temperatures are expected to be just at or just above the freezing level for many locations. One way or another, we are expecting a widespread frost, but some places could experience their first freeze of the season. But on the convective outlooks today, no organized severe weather is expected. This is the average rainfall for the next 7 days. Heaviest totals remain off to the east, and down here in North Texas, amounts around 1/100th of an inch or less is expected throughout this week. And in the tropics are very quiet. So let's go on to the model output. This is the 06Z run of the GFS file this afternoon at noon at 500 millibars. You can see we have a very deep trough digging down across the Midwest, and down here 1038 millibar high in the Dakotas pushes down a cold air mass here. It pushes down a cold air mass to the south. As a result, we'll trend even cooler with highs mostly in the low 50s today. It'll be a cold, brisk day with a northerly wind of 15 miles an hour. So it'll be very, very chilly today with that cold air mass. And here's Saturday. Here's Saturday afternoon. Saturday morning is my main concern, because some places the current forecast temperature is right at 32 degrees, and that's the freezing line. And if we see temperatures go beyond that, or just at that level, we can see a widespread freeze for parts of the DFW metro. And the average first freeze for DFW is around November 22nd. So we might be 2 weeks early from that. So be sure to protect your pets, family, vegetation, and make sure to protect your pipes as well. But Saturday, the rest of the day, Saturday looks cool with highs mostly in the low 50s. So it'll be a very, very cold day. And the temperatures coming off of the 3-kilometer NAM at 7 o'clock, you can see DFW right at 32 degrees, and areas to the north even colder than that will definitely experience their first freeze of the season, and even some colder temperatures across the North Texas region. So this is something you should be concerned about. So be sure to treat this as if it was going to be freezing at your house. But here's Sunday. Here's Sunday. For Sunday we start to clear. We start the day in the low 40s, but we end up in the low 50s later that day. But here's Monday as next week begins. Monday, this is the day where I have the main concerns here. Here you can see Monday afternoon is nothing but a mess. We start the day in the low 40s on Monday. We start the day in the low 40s on the upper 30s on Monday, I mean. But then as we transition to the afternoon, we'll just see a mess of widespread showers and thunderstorms, along with the chance of some wintry mischief in northwest Texas and to parts of North Texas. Some of that you do realize that some of that stuff could reach North Texas, and even with any of the rain, with any of the precipitation that falls Monday evening and afternoon, any of that could freeze over Tuesday morning with highs. Any of that could freeze Tuesday morning. Here's Tuesday. You can see that we're dry for most of the afternoon, but Tuesday morning, the GFS projects Tuesday's morning's high to be 29 degrees. So any precipitation that falls tomorrow, that falls Monday afternoon and evening, any of that could freeze over, which could cause some icy roadways, bridges, and overpasses, which will lead to a very dangerous travel situation for Tuesday morning. And with that, we'll of course continue to mention the chance for travel issues, but we won't mention the chance for widespread wintry precipitation just yet. But Tuesday's high will be in the mid 40s with a mix of sun and clouds. And Wednesday, here's the temperature anomalies for Tuesday. You can see that temperature is way below average for the south. And here's Wednesday of next week. You can see Wednesday will be a chilly, raw day. We'll start the day in the freezing levels, but we'll only end up in the upper 40s. And here's Thursday, pretty much the same thing. Start the day in the mid 30s, end up in the mid 50s. And here's a week from today, Friday the 16th of November. You can see I have that trough in the Great Lakes, and down here we start to warm up a little bit. Highs reaching the upper 50s at this point. And here's the end of the 10-day forecast period. This is Monday the 19th. You can see we have troughing in California, and down here we look relatively dry. But you can see for the numbers for the next 15 days coming off of the GFS ensemble, you can see that highs basically go down as we head towards the 13th and 14th of November. Highs only reach the mid 40s for Monday and Tuesday. You can see the GFS does include a morning low of 29 for Tuesday morning, and wow, that would be a very, very dangerous situation with all the precipitation on the ground if that were to verify. But after this early half of next week, we do warm by the latter half of next week with highs mostly in the mid to upper 50s by the afternoon, by the late November hours. That's it for the Texas weather discussion video for today on Notes in the blog. My next video here will be posted at around 7 a.m. Monday morning. If you can't catch your local TV stations on the air at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great day and a great weekend, and Godspeed.